Morning, guys. Today I'm just here to do another tattoo update vlog about my recent progress. So if you remember the last one of these I did, I just had the shading added to the spider eyes and kind of connected up to the armpits. So the shading has healed really well. It's aged about the way I expected it to, which means it's quite a bit darker than the dynamic black would have been, or the dynamic black underneath. It's really just like a different color almost. So yesterday we did some more on my armpits, and obviously I added a few new additions around the armpits too. You see I have a new little eye here that will be something like these are the ones on my lower stomach area. And we also added an opening to the mouth here, so it has more of like a grin now. It's pretty cool that we can still do stuff like that even after so much work has been done. We also added a little more shading around the teeth in the eye itself. And obviously I did some more in this armpit. Some of the blacks in the armpits around the edges have been added to or redone because we did all of them in one go the first time. So some of the black didn't go in so well. The armpit gets really angry and doesn't like to take it past a certain point. So obviously we added some more eyes back here and defined the hair on my lady on my back a bit while we were there. It's another eye down here and then one more down here. And just a little bit of an opening over here because there wasn't as much space. You can see the difference in dynamic black on black versus Panthera black on black right here and here. So eventually we're going to be redoing all the other ones with Panthera as well, but we'll just pick away at things as we go. Rick has been wanting to do the black around the eye in between the teeth for months. I think he first brought it up in July or August. So we were in that area and he just kind of made the sort of executive decision. It's time, we're doing this now. So this is Gloom Panthera Black mixed with Triple X Panthera Black. He would have just gone straight with the Gloom, but the Gloom is very thick, so it's not easy to tattoo with for him anyway. He found it harder to line with, but obviously if you were doing black on, or sorry, just a regular black tattoo, you probably wouldn't need to worry about getting that different black so much. But with this, we really need to get that black as different from the base black as possible. So pulling out every stop, and the results have been pretty amazing. Like once we can get this tone throughout everywhere, because, and I mean, you could say I wish I started with the Panthera Black down here for all this too, because now obviously I'm gonna have to do it again. I might have had to do it again anyway, because that's just the way these things are. Until we get to where we want it, it's gonna take quite a bit of learning and beating things back and forth. And I said from the start I wanted to be working on this for a year to 2 years ish, just the torso. So we're talking lots of sessions anyway. So what that entails is a lot of learning and figuring out how we want things to be, what inks to use, all that good stuff. So there was always a chance that this was going to have to get done anyway again. So we'll just be picking away at parts of this as we go, kind of thing. But next week's session, we're going to be adding kind of like a jaw or a lip underneath the eye. I had one in my first suit, kind of framed it in. Now we have, obviously, you can see these eyes are kind of like making this look more like a face. Well, we're going to do something to continue that theme down here. And we'll be shading off the little lines in here as well, and probably redoing some of this stuff when we're down there. We left a gap here from the fresh black to this older black because we want to see the difference between how the the eye looks here versus here, because this was done again last December with dynamic black. So also when you're doing 2 weeks in a row like that, you want to leave some healed skin there so that you're not working on work that's already been done if you can help it, or work that was just recently done, sorry. So we'll come back next week and we'll get these lower teeth here probably. And then, yeah, start framing the underneath of the eye, and similar to how we have the eyes up here, similar style shading. And just, yeah, probably doing some relining of some old stuff. In 3 weeks' time, we're going to come straight across, move the camera up, straight across from my right armpit, through my chest, all the way to the left armpit. We're going to do highlights and finally finish this tongue off. This tongue has been bothering me a little bit because obviously the other one is much more finished, but since they both need work anyway, I don't really care. It's going to get done eventually. These are the kinds of projects you can't rush, and if you do rush them, they're never going to be as good as they would be if you took your time with them. So building up the layers, which will mean that the 8th and 7th time, I believe this is 7th time I've had my left armpit done, and the 8th time I've had my right armpit done. It won't be the last time for either of them. So I would expect at least another session, and who knows, maybe even another one after that, because there's going to be all kinds of highlights and still some dotting to come in these. But yeah, I'm really happy that we're filling up the negative spaces of the Blackout. There's very little negative space left, and what negative space left there is going to be shaded off similarly to the eyes or around the mouth here. It's going to be lots of texturing to bring everything together. I'm starting to see the big picture with this, and it's all healing pretty well. Even the dynamic black over the black showed up clear enough, and I say it all the time, but house lighting versus like outdoor light, natural light, is never going to be as good. I often wish that I could make these vlogs outside and be able to control things about them that way, because this stuff looks better in natural light. And I use my own lighting at home, but it's never going to be as vibrant in my house. Anyway, what can you do with that? But yeah, I'm happy with how it's all coming along, and I'm really looking forward to the next couple sessions. I think that the one I do in 3 weeks, when I do all the highlights in my chest and armpits, that's going to be a real game changer. So super looking forward to that one. And from there, I believe we'll be heading back up here to do some more on these eyes and shading them out and stuff like that. But it's just going to be a matter of just jumping back and forth. I have some time coming up before Christmas that I have off at work. And since I got this tattoo done about a year ago then, the rose, Rick has agreed to touch it up with the Panthera Black. So we're basically going to redo the whole thing. It's still pretty cool, like it's still there. It has faded a little bit, but you can tell what it is, and all the lines are there still. Most of the dots are still showing, so I'm just kind of like, I wanted to leave it for a year. I told him when we did it, I wanted to leave it for a year to see how it would heal. And then from there, if it's still there, then it's easy enough to touch it up. And it is still there, so the Panthera Black and probably some either silver or red, or maybe a bit of both highlights in the rose. And I might even see if I can sneak in just a few fix-ups on the moon too. Maybe make it a little brighter, since I've got 5 days off to heal anyway. There's no better time to touch up your hands than when you have time off from work. So on the tongue split, while we're here, tongue split is about, I would say, 3.5 weeks healed now, or not healed, since I've had it done. Seems to be, I'm doing this vlog in the morning. I seem to have the hardest time talking in the morning and the late night. And then throughout the day, my voice is more or less clearer and as focused as ever. Um, I don't hear a difference myself, but some people have told me that my voice sounds clearer now, or like I have less in my mouth or something. So hopefully, as the sensitivity returns to my tongue, as there's still a bit of a loss of sensitivity, I'll have greater ease of control in the morning and the late night as well as I do later in the day. Anyway, yeah, I should mention, in terms of pain, got a lot done. Got a lot of sensitive areas done yesterday. Um, by far, the deep black in here was way more painful than the armpits. As I always say, the armpits are one of those spots that people like to talk about, like they're kind of the mecca for pain, or like one of the hardest places to get tattooed. But I actually found this way more painful, and there's a reason why Rick brought it up in July, and I didn't really want to get at it anytime soon. So, yeah, a lot more pain in here. Still not unbearable. I would give this whole area like an 8, where I would give this stuff more of like a 5 or a 6. That being said, anywhere on an arm for me is like a 4 or something. So I don't think tattoos are ever painless. I would never say that, but there certainly are some that are really talked a lot about that I just don't agree with. For example, the armpit will never ever have anything on the deep inner thigh or the inside of the butt cheek for me. Those are much more painful. But this stuff here, that's getting there. And anywhere on the stomach, I don't really love either. I'd rather have anywhere up here done than anywhere down here, for the record. Leg tattoos, in general, not so bad, but I find when you get into the tender areas, more closer to your bum and your thighs and stuff like that, especially if you're doing blackout and full coverage, those are long days. So, anyway, getting into a bit of a rant here. I'll be doing another one of these next week and showing off my progress. Can't wait. So if you enjoyed this video or any of my other videos, share them with your friends and give them a like, and I'll talk to you again soon.